Are you considering a move to Philadelphia and wondering what it actually costs to live here? A lot of people are drawn to Philadelphia for the big city energy, the historic neighborhoods, and the idea that it's a lot more affordable than its neighboring states. But the truth is, the cost of living might surprise you. In this video, I'm going to break down all of the numbers: housing, rent, groceries, transportation, taxes, and even some costs that people forget about. By the end of this video, you're gonna know exactly how much it costs to live in the city, and you're gonna be able to see if it's as affordable as you think. And if you're new to the channel, my name is Zach Neild. I've lived in this area for my entire life. I've been a licensed realtor for the last 4 years now, and I've had the opportunity to help dozens of buyers in probably a similar situation to what you're in right now make that move, whether it's to Philly, to Montgomery County, Bucks County, and I would love to do that for you. I'll put my information up here on the screen. You can give me a call, a text, even shoot me an email. Honestly, whatever is easiest for you, and I would love to connect and talk about your long-term and short-term goals. Let's not waste any more time. I'm super excited to get into this video. Let's get into it. All right, well, let's rewind a little bit. Years back, in the last couple of decades, Philadelphia carried the reputation of being the affordable city, especially on the East Coast. You had players like New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C. that were having a very high cost of living. And at the time in Philadelphia, you could enjoy world-class food, you could have historic neighborhoods, a very strong job market, easy access to these cities of New York, DC, all while paying significantly less in rent, in groceries, etc. I mean, especially when you compare it to places like Manhattan, Boston, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia seemed like a bargain. And over time, people moved here because they could get more space for their money, and whether that was buying a row home in South Philly, you rented something in Northern Liberties, even found a bigger home out in the suburbs, a single family home, without completely breaking the bank. So people started moving here, they started spending their money here, and that reputation quickly started to shift. Over the past decade, housing prices and rents in this area have just completely skyrocketed. Daily expenses have crept up: gas, groceries, and ultimately the gap between Philadelphia and the more expensive cities isn't as wide as it used to be. We're gonna dig into why this happened some more, what happened exactly, and what it means for you if you're considering a move in this Philadelphia area. This is not gonna be a video that you wanna miss. Let's get into it. Okay, well, let's start with housing. That's usually always the biggest line item in the budget. Philly used to be the place where you could snag a row home for under 150K, 200K, or even an apartment for less than $1,000 a month. But those days are long behind us. Today in Philadelphia, the median home price is gonna hover in the mid-2s to the low 3s, just depending on the neighborhood. In South Philly, you are gonna find classic row homes, but those prices have definitely crept up in years, especially in areas, neighborhoods like Passio Square, Graduate Hospital. But I would say it's realistic to find a place in the 250 to 315 point. Now, as you head into Center City, it's gonna be a different story. You're gonna have luxury condos and townhouses. In this area, you can easily reach price points up to $600,000-800,000. There are some today on the market that are up over $1 million. As you step outside the city into places like Bucks County, Montgomery County, you're gonna find single family homes that typically range from the mid-4s to mid-6s, high 7s. And if you're looking for more space, you're looking for a yard, a top-rated school district, you're gonna definitely pay for it. We've got a ton of other videos up on this channel, places like Collegeville, Plymouth Meeting, Downingtown. You can see what some of those average price points are. Downingtown, for example, you're gonna be $550,000 starting for a townhouse, 2 or 3 stories, no yard, probably an outdoor living deck. So you can definitely check out the channel to see pricing in these areas. On the rental side in Philadelphia, you're gonna have median rents that are about $1,700 to $2,000 for a 1-bedroom. This is gonna be in the city, and it just depends on the location. So places like Fishtown, Northern Liberties, even University City, you're gonna just see some of the biggest jumps, some of the highest jumps in terms of pricing spikes. And if you just compare this to a few years ago, it's gonna be a pretty big shift. A few years ago, the median sales price or median rent price was about $1,200 to $1,500 for a 1-bedroom. And you might ask, what is driving these prices, rental prices, home prices, what is driving these prices to continue to climb the way that they have? And there's gonna be a few key factors at play here. First is going to be the demand. More people have been choosing Philadelphia over the past decade than any other city. You're gonna have so many people coming in still from out of state, New York, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., even places farther on the West Coast. Arizona, California. Where else are we seeing people come from the YouTube? Colorado even, right? So there's still so many spots throughout the country and even internationally, right, outside of the country, where Philadelphia is still a big target. And we're also seeing massive shifts from buyers out of state, buyers that are in higher priced markets, places like Washington, D.C., places like Manhattan, New York, where they're in higher priced markets and they're coming to Philadelphia as an alternative option to stretch their dollar farther, to get more space, to get more privacy. And to them, you know, Philadelphia still feels like a bargain. Average home price in New York is starting at $1.1 million or $1.2 million. I just saw the other day. So it's going to be a completely different game when you're comparing these apples to apples. Another big reason that we've seen prices rise the way they have is because of new construction. We've seen a boom in new development, everything from luxury condos in Center City, even modern townhouses in neighborhoods like Downingtown and Plymouth Meeting that are just going to be completely overlooked. These are going to come with higher price tags, they're going to have incentives. This is just going to raise the overall average for homes in that area, for what's normal, for what you can expect. And it's even going to change expectations across the entire market. And last but not least is that Philly is still a very growing appeal. The city has been ranked nationally for best places to live list. It's been on the food scene list, the cultural scene list, even remote work, right? It's been ranked as one of the most commuter-friendly cities for people that have hybrid work or working from home schedules, stuff like that. So Philly is really positioning itself where people aren't gonna have to choose between affordability and opportunity quite the same way. It's all gonna add up to more demand and a higher housing cost. Now here are a few hidden costs with living in the city. Housing is going to be a big one, but it's not going to be the entire picture. Philadelphia is going to come with a few hidden costs that you're definitely going to want to factor in. First up, we're going to have property taxes. When you compare property taxes in the city compared to places in Bucks County, Montgomery County, even Chester County, property taxes in the city are actually going to be on the lower side, but there is a catch. The system is going to feel a little bit confusing. First up, you're going to have assessments. So assessments are going to change. Neighborhoods are going to be taxed differently depending on the market values. So you're going to have programs like the homestead exemption or tax abatements or new construction, which is going to make a pretty big difference, but it's not always as straightforward as just plugging in a rate. So that is going to be a hidden cost because it is going to constantly be changing, but in general, you can assume that it's going to be over time lower than what's in the suburbs. And then you're going to have the Philadelphia wage tax, and this is going to surprise quite a lot of people, especially if you're not from the city or from the area. And this is going to be 3.8% for residents in the city and then 3.4% for non-residents who work in the city. It's going to be one of the highest local wage taxes in the entire country. So if that's something that you're not aware of, and we've got other videos up about that, if that's something that you're not aware of and you're making $100,000, $200,000 plus a year, that can significantly add up into yearly expenses. Then you've got transportation costs. Parking in Center City can easily cost you a couple $100s a month. If you need a garage, that can cost you as well. Meters, commute times, it's all going to be part of traveling in the city. If you're commuting in or out of the city, you're going to have tolls that you have to pay for, bridges, highways, and then even if you're just commuting within the city, you're buying a SEPTA pass, you're running on rails, subways, buses, whatever it is, these are all going to be costs that you have to factor in. So how does Philly actually compare to the national average when it comes to everyday expenses? So first up with housing, now this one's going to be interesting and almost where the city stands out. Now compared nationally, rent prices, median home sale prices, Philadelphia is going to be well above the national average. Now, when you compare that to major coastal cities, Florida, New York, California, Philadelphia is going to be significantly under that, which is why Philadelphia used to have the name as the value city. But not surprised, groceries are going to be in Philadelphia are going to be higher than the national average. Fresh produce, meats, organic stuff, milk, bread are going to be a little bit more here compared to many places out in the Midwest or even just smaller cities. Utilities, these are going to be slightly lower than the national average. Things like electricity, heating, water, they're going to be a little bit more affordable here than in some other cities or the national average. Transportation, this one's definitely going to be a toss-up. It's going to depend where you're from and what you're used to. SEPTA, it's definitely going to be cheaper than places like in New York or DC. But if you're between, insurance, gas, tolls, even just car expenses, right? These are going to quickly add up, and it could definitely be a lot higher than the average compared to maybe some other areas or other ways of transportation. So it's a little bit mixed, and Philly's not going to be the cheapest place in the US that you can live. But depending on your lifestyle, some of the categories that are important to you, places on the East Coast that you would consider living, Philly can offer a pretty good bargain. And really what it comes down to is having a good plan, having a great local professional in place that knows these areas. They know what areas are more affordable, which areas have better long-term appreciation to where you could take advantage of the market and you could buy into it now and have a lot higher return in the next, say, 5 to 10 years versus buying in a place that wouldn't give you as much return. These are all super, super important things to factor in when making that move. Even the type of home that you could buy that's going to give you the best investment when you go to sell it or use it as a rental or whatever it is. And that's exactly why people reach out to me every single day. I've been a licensed real estate professional for the last 4 years now, and I've lived in this area for my entire life. So when it comes to talking about these areas, commute times, cost of living, even comparing Philadelphia like we just did to some of its bigger neighboring states, I'm gonna know everything that there is to know about this. I've lived it, I've breathed it, I've worked in it, and I've helped people move and buy and sell in it for the last 4 years now. So if that does sound like a situation that you're in, you're considering a move, you need to make a move for work, for family, for leisure, I would love to be a resource. I'll put my information up here on the screen, phone number, email, text, call me, whatever it is. You can get a link down here below to a free Zoom consultation. You can get on my calendar and we could talk about your situation, the processes, all of that, and I would love to do that. All right, now let's zoom out a little bit and compare Philadelphia to its major neighboring states, New York City, Washington, D.C., even Boston. So now when we look at housing, comparing it to these 3 other cities, Philadelphia is going to be a lot more affordable. You're going to find a center city condo or South Philly row home for a fraction of the prices in New York or Boston, and it's not even going to be close. The gap is definitely going to be shrinking, especially as demand is pushing these prices higher and the conveniences and people start to move to these areas. But for now, it's going to be a lot more affordable. Even when you factor in groceries, dining, transportation, the cost of living in Philadelphia is going to be cheaper overall, and not going to be a wide margin like it used to be. But Boston and DC are just consistently more expensive areas across the board in every area, in every part, and New York is going to be a clear outlier. They're going to have skyrocket costs. We were just there this past weekend, and I think for a water bottle it was like $10. So it's definitely going to be one of the most expensive, not just in the country, but probably in the world. And the lifestyle value, this is honestly the biggest deciding factor, the biggest selling point for so many people that are deciding to put their money in this area. You're going to get big city amenities, you're going to get pro sports, world-class restaurants, you're going to get cultural institutions, historic landmarks. You're going to get all of this without paying the premiums that we see in New York, the premiums that we see in Boston. And that's why we're going to see so many people from these different markets that are relocating to Philadelphia, calling it the sweet spot. And we've got better sports teams as well. I mean, it's better than the Mets, better than the Patriots, the Knicks. Whoever it is, the Philly teams are going to be a lot better. So is Philly still the most affordable East Coast alternative? The answer is going to be yes, but the gap is definitely closing. Trends continue the way that they have been. It's probably not going to hold that reputation forever. That's why you need to make your move sooner than later. Let's lock in your price, let's lock in your home, and start helping you build long-term equity and value in this amazing state. You might ask, what does it cost to raise a family in Philadelphia? We're gonna break that down, talk about it some more right now, break down childcare costs, schooling costs, everything that you need to know. Childcare costs, it's gonna be one of the biggest expensive, I think it goes without saying. Full-time daycare can be anywhere from about $1,000 to $1,500 a month per child, which is going to put a pretty big strain on household budgets. Next, you've got schooling. A lot of families are going to weigh the pros and cons between public school and private school options. And while Philly does have some pretty standout public schools and even charter schools, many parents still do look at private schools, and this can add tens of thousands of dollars to your expenses, yearly expenses. And then you factor groceries and dining. Feeding a family is not going to be cheap. And groceries here are already above the national average. So when you factor in dining out, whether it's pizza in South Philly at Angelo's or going to a casual dinner, bills are definitely going to stack up pretty quick. And then you've got utilities and everyday bills. So on top of everything else, you're going to have the usual cost of utilities, internet, phone plans, transportation, gas, which could add several hundred of dollars to your monthly cost. So when you put it all together, raising a family in Philadelphia can be significantly more expensive than many people might expect. There's gonna be lifestyle, cultural opportunities that are amazing, but it's gonna come with a price tag that you really have to plan for. That's gonna be the end of the video. I'm curious to get your thoughts. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Philly might not be considered the hidden affordable city like it once was, but when you compare it to nearby metros, Manhattan, New York, Boston, it's gonna be a very solid value, depending on your lifestyle, depending on your priorities. If you are considering a move here, make sure you don't just weigh the housing costs, but you weigh the lifestyle costs, the transportation costs, the taxes. There's so much to consider. And if you are planning a move here, I would love to be a help. I can talk about this in more detail with you over a Zoom call or even in person at a local coffee shop. We could talk about things like taxes, local wages. We could talk about planning for, even more in depth of expenses and property taxes and values in different areas. We can even sit down and look at different areas where we can look at new construction opportunities to capitalize on interest rate incentives, to capitalize on closing cost incentives, so that you can keep as much cash in your pocket to pay for some of these bills, utilities, expenses. This is all part of making the move, and I've helped people do that for the last 4 years now. I've lived in this area my entire life, and for the last 4 years now, I've been a licensed real estate professional helping people make this move, and I've had the opportunity to help dozens of buyers, probably in a similar situation to what you're in right now, make the move here, compare different areas, look at cost of living. We did all of it, and they're super, super happy now that they made the move here, and I know that you're gonna be too once you do it. So reach out to me, text, call, email. I'll put my information up here on the screen. That way it's super, super easy for you to find it, and until next time, I will see you around the neighborhood.